Okay, well, moving along here to your next free resource, we have FX Top. Could you tell us why you included that one?
Yeah, so I wanted to include at least one resource that focused on foreign exchange rates, currency conversion, historical exchange rates, that sort of thing. And as I know you know, there are tons and tons of websites which do this. And it was, at the end of the day, it was really hard to narrow it down to one, but I ultimately settled with FX Top for this video.
Good, good. And why would you say you settled on that versus its competitors?
Yeah, well, it wasn't easy. There were a few reasons. The first one is that their data goes back a long way to before Nixon taking the US off the gold standard. And a lot of their peers don't do that. A lot of their peers, they might have exchange rates going back 10 years or 20 years, but not all the way to the 70s or not beyond the 70s. So that really differentiates them from some of their competitors. You can download the information into Excel, which you know I like by this point if you've watched the prior part of this video. And you can easily flip the exchange rate right there and flip it back and forth, which is great. And another really nice thing about their website is they don't confine themselves to the big important exchange rates of the world like the US dollar or the euro or the pound. You know, you can go and get almost any exchange rate you want from the tiniest, littlest, most insignificant country right the way up to the United States. So it's all right there, and that differentiates them as well.
That's certainly a couple nice features there. So if I recall correctly, they also provide historic FX relationships for currencies that are no longer even in existence anymore. Is that right?
Yeah, they do that, and it's kind of funny to see countries that have imploded that way, but it's also useful, I think, for some academics if they know of the resource for sure. And yeah, then there are countries that haven't imploded but have been folded together in the euro. So it will include the old, or sorry, not Swiss, the French franc and the Deutschmark from Germany, and you can find those relationships there too.
Interesting. Yeah. So some homework for folks.
Yeah.
Anything else you like about FX Top that you want to point out?
They have a inflation calculator, which is useful. Sometimes I use that, and again, because they have all the currencies out there, you know, it's not just confined to the inflation rates in the big economies of the world. You can find it for anywhere. And you know, their website looks dated, it looks crappy to some people, or like garbage. And I kind of like that actually because there's no bells and whistles, and they don't try to make it look good. They just try to make it functional, and that's exactly what it is. It is a very functional, straightforward website. It doesn't look great, but it has everything you want there. And I personally like that. So, but that's just me.
Well, it gets